This is Campus News, reporting the top stories from colleges and universities.
Next on Campus News, students take a small instrument to the big stage.
An audience couldn't resist jumping to their feet as they listened to an Afro-Cuban beat.
Some students are sticking to their guns when it comes to firearms on campus.
But first, one MSUM instructor checks an interview off her bucket list with the Commander-in-Chief.
Thank you for joining us and welcome to Campus News. I'm Jordan Schreier.
And I'm Ariana Babcock. One Minnesota State University Moorhead adjunct professor and alum travels from the newsroom on MSUM's campus to the Roosevelt Room in the White House.
I sat down with Kirsten Keeley to talk about her journey to Washington, D.C. for a personal interview with President Barack Obama.
Here in Washington, D.C.
When watching the news and seeing a journalist standing in front of the White House, call letters such as CNN or MSNBC are in the corner. But notice of the temperature and city on the screen let you know this isn't national media.
I felt like I was the whole time because it was just so exciting.
WDAY anchor, MSUM Campus News alum, and now professor was selected out of news stations in North and South Dakota and Minnesota to interview the President of the United States.
Why me? You know, and then you start to think, well, why not me?
It all started with an unnoticed email on Monday and then 3 days prep.
I remember looking at my students going, you know, they're not even going to believe me when I say this is why I'm going to miss class on Thursday. But I have a really good excuse, guys.
Kirsten and her team hit the snow-dusted city with her usual rigor, getting footage of the Capitol in anticipation of the 16 live shots her team did.
Reporting live from the White House. Live from the White House.
Reporting live from the White House, I'm Kirsten Keeley.
Then the memorable day where she met the White House dogs.
Very well-behaved, beautiful dogs. And they had everybody on the floor within 2 seconds of them coming in, and they sat for their pets and kisses, and it was just craziest thing.
Then the big dog.
Selling a lot of stuff there.
It's just the magnitude of it all. It's so impressive, and it's not about a person, it's about the office and about our country, and that was really just amazing to experience firsthand, so close up.
The president greeted Kirsten with some small talk as her shorter stature was propped up on a box.
Don't fall off the box. Don't fall off the box. And then it was go.
Mr. President, North Dakota is the #2 oil-producing state in the country.
Her questions ranged from energy to his legacy, picked by her viewers back in the Red River Valley to ask the president in her 4-6-minute interview.
Sir, thank you very much.
Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Stay warm up in Fargo.
Come see us sometime.
This wasn't her first presidential visit. Back when she was an anchor for Campus News, she went to see President Clinton when he came to Grand Forks in the '97 flood.
We thought we should go up there and cover that with all the other media. And Kirsten Keeley went up there with us, and she did a great job on the story.
Never thinking how many years later, I won't tell you how many years later, but that I'd get the opportunity to be interviewing a president again.
Now she's inspiring students to reach presidential heights at MSUM.
It's really exciting, you know. She's actually in the field doing big things and everything like that. You have to really respect that.
While she left her spot in front of the White House, she hopes to leave an impression with her students.
No dream is too big. Chase it, and that if you're passionate about something, that's all that matters.
Back in the classroom, back behind the anchor desk, and back to reality.
Someone said, wow, this is bucket list stuff, and I think I responded, I didn't even know this could be on my bucket list. I didn't even think to put it on there.
3 other stations from around the nation were also invited to interview the president.
MSUM could be losing its status as a smoke-free campus. Current policy prohibits use and sale of tobacco and smoking products on MSUM's campus. However, a proposed policy would allow students to smoke and use electronic cigarettes in designated smoking areas. The policy is open for public comment.
A new documentary that exposes the problems of sexual assault on college campuses is drawing the attention of many college officials. The documentary, called The Hunting Ground, features students who share their stories of assaults and journeys to liberation. The filmmakers have received more than 1,000 inquiries from colleges about screening the documentary.
The first few weeks, I made some of my best friends, but 2 of us were sexually assaulted before classes had even started.
The increasing number of reported sexual assaults has sparked multiple states to take a closer look at campus safety. Some say one of those safety precautions is to allow students to conceal and carry weapons on campus. While most students are packing their backpacks with notes and textbooks, in the future, some may be packing heat.
10 states are pushing bills to conceal and carry guns on campuses. Reporter Maddie Jalseth shows us the mixed reactions from MSUM students about guns on campuses.
Students have many opinions on concealing and carrying weapons on campuses.
I don't think it's a great idea. I think that a lot of things could go wrong with a gun on campus. I think somebody could accidentally set it off, or a lot of problems could happen.
Some students are shooting it down, while others say it's right on target.
It's definitely a right to be able to defend yourself and to defend yourself with martial arts, knives, guns, whatever it takes.
But Cody Axman has a different opinion to this topic.
I do not approve of it because it decreases safety on campus. Because if people have guns on campus, there's more potential for someone to pull a gun on someone.
But others, like Eddie Bargan, are in favor of students carrying guns on campuses.
Well, I feel there's a lot of positive advantages to having guns on campus. It's a potential benefit for everybody at large in case there is an emergency where, a concealed carry permit holder has to save the day.
I think there's nothing wrong at all with carrying everywhere and anywhere.
On the campus of MSUM, the handbook prohibits the possession or carrying of a firearm, even if the student has a conceal and carry permit. With photographer Haley Foster, Maddie Joseph, Campus News.
41 states ban firearms on campuses.
An open forum starring Shane Crone brought a unique and tragic love story to the students of NDSU. In May 2011, Shane's life partner, Tom Bridegroom, died in a tragic accident. In 2012, Shane told their story in a video called "It Could Happen to You," inspiring the creation of the award-winning documentary Bridegroom, A Love Story Unequaled. The documentary explores Tom and Shane's life together, the fallout from Tom's untimely death, and the broader ramifications of marriage bans. An NDSU professor will play a major role in what we should be eating. Eric Berg is a meat scientist and professor in NDSU's Department of Animal Sciences. Berg was chosen to share knowledge of meat and meat muscles with the 2015 Dietary Guidelines Advisory Committee. Berg is one of 70 people chosen to provide public comment on the report. The report recommends Americans get the majority of their nutrition from plant sources and that they should limit their red and processed meats. The dietary guidelines are altered every 5 years. Most people remember hearing unwanted squeaks and squawks from instruments in their elementary concerts, but now college students are embracing the squeak and trying to perfect it.
Reporter Nick Broadway is live in the studio to tell us how students at Concordia are playing tunes on a unique instrument. Nick?
Ariana and Jordan, a group of students, are turning a children's toy into a harmonic instrument. I spoke with them about how they're hitting the stage with an unlikely talent.
The night is young at Concordia campus. Instruments echo throughout the halls, along with choir practice. But this is not your typical choir.
1, 2, 1, 2.
The Kazoo Choir is rehearsing Mr. Sandman for their upcoming performance. As they hum and toot their way to stardom, founder Jake Pavia did not expect it to get this popular.
It was a little bit of an impulse buy, but I bought a pack of 25 kazoos online.
His impulse paid off.
We set up flyers in the dorms, which we made in crayon.
The choir now has 12 members, with many more expected to join.
It's like such a good conversation starter to be like, hey, I play in Kazoo Choir, and they're like, not really, and you can be like, no, for real, it's like a real thing. You should totally come do it.
Starting last January, they already perform on the big stage.
We were invited to perform at the Student Blockbuster at Concordia. That was where we had our premiere performance. People don't have that many expectations when they have a Kazoo Choir performing, and then when they do, they're surprised, hey, that actually sounded kind of like music. That was nice.
Most members play this premium quality metal kazoo.
It's just made of brass as far as I know, so.
But for the most part, they say kazoo playing is not complicated.
And then down to the F.
The only hard part is like trying not to blast the wrong note.
I would say it's easy to pick up and relatively easy to master.
The choir has even influenced other schools to start their own kazoo groups.
My high school choir director found out about this. I didn't tell you guys this yet, but he started a kazoo choir at my high school because of this group.
A lady this week who emailed me, she said that she saw the article and that she had like trumpet kazoos she'd be willing to donate to us. I don't even know what a trumpet kazoo is really.
Spreading the vibrant sounds throughout the community. They don't plan on stopping anytime soon.
We like to have fun. If you don't like to have fun, that's your problem.
They're also performing Van Halen's Jump at their upcoming spring performance. The date is to be determined.
Thanks, Nick. Beads, board games, and coloring books brought back memories for some students at MSUM. It was a flashback as students gathered in the Union for a night in the 90s. The students stepped back into their childhood as they colored, played pool, and enjoyed some smiley fries. For some, the night was a time to relive their younger days.
Furbies were the big thing, and I finally got my Furby, finally got one, and the day after I got it, this bratty kid from down the street threw it across my basement and broke it, and I was so sad and mad at him.
Flashback Friday was organized by the Dragon Entertainment Group that puts on weekly entertainment for students on campus.
While outside is more brown than white, the NDSU Snowmobile team brought back some gold and a lot of experience from the Society of Automotive Engineers Snowmobile competition in Michigan.
Reporter Veronica Utek tells us how the team installed a diesel engine in their snowmobile.
You won't see much snow or these types of snowmobiles on the lakes and trails in this part of North Dakota and Minnesota. This team of Bison engineering students has truly built something unique.
There's not really a diesel-fueled snowmobile on today's market with the exception of military applications. So yeah, just really the innovating aspect of it, the fact that we're, one of a kind doing it, building the ultimate utility snowmobile essentially, I guess, would be my #1 inspiration.
The NDSU Clean Snowmobile team rode to the top of their competition at Snowy Houghton, Michigan this year. The competition categories included endurance race, drawbar pull, and acceleration with a load.
My favorite part of this whole experience was that we got to go ahead and take all the theory and book work that we've done for the last 4 years of our educational careers and actually apply it to something hands-on, something a lot more fun than a textbook and pieces of paper.
According to a team member, Nathan Duchesne, the team put lots of hours and long nights getting their snowmobile put together, and it paid off. With photographer Rana Cody, Veronica Utek, Campus News.
The NDSU Clean Snowmobile Team Facebook page says teams are also judged on noise, fuel economy, emissions, and static display.
MSUM biology professor Andrew Mary is improving the life of his plants by using fish to fertilize the water. Aquaponics is where instead of using soil, the plant is grown in lava rocks. The system contains only recyclable material. Water is continuously circulated throughout the plants from a fish tank where each plant is balanced out with a fish.
So the plants aren't in soil, they're not submerged in water like hydroponics, and you can use fish, for example, to put nutrients back into the water.
The aquaponics system has been on the MSUM campus for 3 years. The tanks contain 15 goldfish that support the plant's growth.
The University of Oregon is taking steps to get its students vaccinated for a deadly disease. The urgency arose after 1 student died of meningitis and 5 were diagnosed with the disease since January. School officials reported about 13,000 of the university's 22,000 undergraduates are not vaccinated. The school is displaying posters of student athletes showing off their vaccination marks around campus to encourage students to get the vax. They are also offering vaccinations at the school's basketball arena for students.
NDSU students have a new way to find their groove as they put the hip to the hop. The hip hop team busts a move at the university all year round. The team is holding its annual Hip Hop for Hope event at 7 p.m. on April 16th at NDSU's Festival Concert Hall. The theme for this year is all about that bass. The event will have local rappers, singers, and breakdancers in addition to the team's performance. Tickets to the event cost $5 and all proceeds will go to Unseen Ministries, a local nonprofit geared towards stopping human trafficking, hunger, and poverty. A tropical treat at NDSU brings sunny skies to dreary spring days.
Reporter Josie Jerezik tells us how Hawaiian Night was just what some students needed to get through the semester.
Limbo, dancing, and a taste of Hawaii. Not things you could find just any night on a college campus, but for NDSU students, it's just another event sponsored by their entertainment group, MU Live. And with a photo booth, video games, and enough tropical smoothies to go around, even the Limbo champion had more than just his winning to dance about.
Coming here, oh man, so fun. Get to see people like this every day. So why not?
And he wasn't the only one getting his groove on. Henderson said events like this help students like him dance their way out of that mid-semester hump.
Stuff like this is a real good way to relax. It's a real good way for you to take your mind off of what any exams you might have, and for a way for you to study at the same time and get everything else you want done in a day.
And it's not just NDSU students who strapped on their dancing shoes. It seems the evening's entertainment proved fun for young and particularly young alike. With photographer Michaela Rinkenberger, Josie Jerezik, Campus News.
The Memorial Union's next event is a Latin-themed dance that will celebrate culture. And now we turn it over to Shaylee Meyer for a look at this week's sports.
Shaylee, MSUM men's basketball is setting another school record yet again.
That's right. They've been setting records all season, and now the Minnesota State University Moorhead men's basketball team is headed to the NCAA Elite Eight for the first time in school history. The Dragons earned the NCAA Central Region title with a win over Northwest Missouri State on March 17th in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, adding to their Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference North Division title. Several Dragons have received tournament and season honors. Junior center Isaac Sievely was named the Central Region Tournament's most valuable player. Senior guard Prescott Williams and sophomore guard Aaron Lean were all tournament selections. MSUM coach Chad Walthall has been named the National Association of Basketball Coaches Central Region Coach of the Year. Senior guard Jordan Reaver is continuing his success as he has been named to the NABC Division II All-America Team, Daktronics All-America Third Team, and the Basketball Times All-America Second Team. The NCAA Division II National Championship game will be televised live nationally on CBS Sports at 2 p.m. later today. Unpredictable weather and unforgiving temperatures can sometimes make a mess of the spring season in our area. Reporter Thor Thompson tells us how NDSU Athletics has come up with a state-of-the-art solution to the springtime struggles of sports.
The sound of bats cracking is a sure sign of spring around the country, but in Fargo, the weather doesn't always cooperate. Even Nebraska native Krista Menke admits the elements can be an obstacle.
Fargo is still, it's a different type of cold. Yeah, new low is right.
But NDSU's athletes now have a place where they can escape from the elements. The Bison have constructed one of the region's most expansive indoor training spaces with the air-supported dome over Dakota Field. The bubble provides more than 87,000 square feet of space for the Bison to roam in comfort. The benefits of the new space are clear.
I see behind me too, there's a lot of batting cages now compared to what we had before in the BBF. We had just one cage there. So
a lot of different things that we can do by going live on the field, live in the cages, all those things I mentioned. So this has been a great addition for us.
The extra space is great, but that's not the only positive.
We'll always have practice times in here when we're here, so that's awesome. Like, instead of just having to guess or like figure it out last minute.
With less concerned about where to practice and more time to focus on practice itself, Bison Athletics will use this new facility to round their game into shape for the spring season. Thor Thompson, Campus News Sports.
The Dome costs $1.5 million and hosts several practices for several sports from November through April. Minnesota Gopher fans rejoice. The University of Minnesota women's hockey team is celebrating their 2015 NCAA National Championship. This is the Gophers' 6th national championship, a new collegiate women's hockey record. The top-seeded Minnesota women's hockey team defeated Harvard University 4-1. Minnesota has won 3 titles in the last 4 years after finishing as national runners-up last year. 2 North Dakota State University wrestlers earned All-American honors at the NCAA Championships in St. Louis, Missouri last weekend. Bison wrestlers junior Hayden Zilmer and senior Curtis Jelson each placed in the top 10 of each of their weight classes. Zilmer placed 6th in the 184-pound weight class. Jelson placed 8th at 174 pounds. It is the first time in NDSU wrestling history that the Bison have had 2 NCAA Division I All-Americans in the same year. NDSU was number 23 in team standings with 19.5 points, making this their 2nd straight year in the top 25. One MSUM club is landing roundhouses and improving their self-defense tactics on campus. Twice a week, the MSUM Taekwondo meets in the Nemzik Dance Studio to perfect their Korean martial art. Turner Blaufus gives us a closer look at the human weapons.
The MSUM Taekwondo Club spends their Monday and Wednesday nights getting in shape and kicking like Chuck Norris. Members push one another to further improve their fighting styles.
I've always wanted to learn martial arts since I was a kid, but I've never really had the opportunity to till I came to MSUM.
Some of the students in the Taekwondo Club had prior experience in the martial art, but the club is open to all as other members are tying on their first belts.
Getting black belt would be a goal, but you watch these amazing black belts like our teachers, and you think that it's way beyond your reach, but it's really not. So if I can get that goal, I will.
Taekwondo is great for fitness, as many of the members credit their workouts in keeping off the freshman 15.
Good way to stay in shape, get a regular workout on a couple times a week.
The Taekwondo Club, like many other clubs, is a close-knit bunch. All of the members treat each other with respect.
Here, everyone is supportive. Nobody talks you down because you can't kick high enough. Everybody tries their best to help you.
Some of the martial artists said they plan on continuing their training after graduation, and Taekwondo gyms all over the country are always welcome to new members. With photographer Meg Keim, Turner Blaufus, Campus News Sports.
Each of the club's members qualified for nationals in Florida. The tournament takes place from June 29th to July 4th. Ohio State football players hit the dance floor, shaking what their mamas gave them. Members of the 2014 National Championship team partnered with the Ohio State University dance team at halftime during a men's basketball game, showing fans they've got all the right moves in all the right places, on and off the field. The basketball team ended up falling to Wisconsin 72-48, but Buckeye fans won some quality entertainment.
Seriously impressed with their dance moves.
I know, if I was there, I probably would have gotten up and joined them.
Those football players definitely gave the cheerleaders a run for their money.
Of course.
Thanks, Shaylee. From the beats of their drums to the keys of their piano, one Afro-Cuban band is moving the audience at MSUM to their feet.
Reporter Onizi Ohikari shows us how this band made quite the impression at MSUM.
It's hard to stay seated while listening to the Pedrito Martinez group play. Described as one of the world's best Afro-Latin hand percussionists, Pedrito Martinez is the founder of the Latin jazz group.
I never went to school of music to learn this type of music. I learned in the street.
The band was invited by the MSUM School of Performing Arts to talk to students about their music.
From the point of like being able to share something with people that are kind of following in our steps somehow, and they're going to go through a similar path, and they're going to appreciate some information that we can pass on that might help them.
After the workshop, the band had a live performance to the joy of the students and some members of the community.
I love their music. It's very animated and salsa-like, and I just want to get up and dance.
While some students may have perceived the band as just an average act, they have received quite an impressive recognition.
We were nominated for the Grammys this year. We didn't win it, but we were nominated for Best Latin Jazz Album.
For some of the students, the style and rhythm of the music holds a personal meaning.
I'm from Venezuela, and we listen to a lot of salsa music as well. So I definitely that's my music.
For others, attending the concert was a chance to quench their curiosity.
I've never listened to Cuban jazz, and I guess I'm really curious to see what it's like. Because it's different than most Western jazz.
But whether it was their cultural roots or their interest in learning something new that made them show up, it turned out to be a fulfilling night for both the audience and the band members. With photographer Darby Fike, Onizio Hikere, Campus News.
The Pedrito Martinez Band has been performing for 7 years. And that's it for this edition of Campus News.
We leave you with a look at Concordia's Kazoo Choir.
Thanks for joining us and have a great week.
Campus News is produced by the Television News Workshop in the School of Communication and Journalism at Minnesota State University Moorhead in cooperation with Prairie Public Television.